Ever get this feeling like life's a play? Like someone out there wrote the script?
And we're just ad-libbing our way through it.
Yeah, something like that. Today we're talking about Neville Goddard, this 20th century mystic who believed life as a play, a divinely orchestrated one.
With God as the ultimate playwright.
Exactly. And you know what's wild?
Mm.
He uses these classic biblical stories like the ones you sent us to kind of unpack it all.
Pull back the curtain on this grand production.
Totally. We're talking time being an illusion, humans as projections of like one God, and the Bible, not a history book.
More like a symbolic guidebook to understanding like our own consciousness.
Whoa. So where do we even begin with this?
Well, Goddard's lecture, it's called Neville Goddard, All Your Life is Staged and Waiting to be Fulfilled.
Catchy.
It lays it all out there.
So give us the SparkNotes version. What's the central idea here?
Well, Goddard, he starts with this idea that time as we know it is an illusion. Past, present, future, all happening at once.
Whoa. Slow down there.
Uh-huh.
How can everything be happening simultaneously?
Think of it like a movie. All the scenes exist, right? But we're only experiencing them one at a time.
Okay. So like the past, present, future, it's all already out there.
Exactly. It's a tough concept to wrap your head around, but stick with us.
Okay, I'm trying. So if time is an illusion, what about us? What are we in this grand cosmic film?
Well, Goddard says we're not really separate individuals at all. We're more like projections of this one God, each playing different roles in this play.
Okay, so imagine like one of those old projectors.
Right, and the light shining through it, that's the source, that's God. And each image that's projected, that's us, different aspects of that same light.
We're all connected, all part of this one big universal energy. Like that. Okay, so if we're all just playing roles, what's the point of the play? What's the ending Goddard's trying to show us?
Well, he believes the whole point of this cosmic drama is to lead us back to that realization. We are God.
Okay, I think I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. But where does the Bible fit into all of this?
That's where it gets really interesting. Goddard saw the Bible not as a literal history, but more like a metaphorical play,
Right.
full of these stories that, if you know how to read them, reveal deeper truths about us, about our consciousness.
So that's like a secret code we need to learn how to decipher.
Exactly. He uses this story of Abraham being promised a son, Isaac, super late in life to kind of illustrate this.
Oh yeah, talk about beating the odds.
Right. Abraham and Sarah, they thought having a kid at their age was impossible, but God, well, the divine plan had other ideas.
It's like even when we think something is impossible, there's this potential for things to work out in ways we can't even imagine.
Precisely. It's about trusting in something bigger than ourselves, and realizing that miracles, they do happen.
Speaking of miracles, Goddard also uses the story of Lot and the angels to get at this idea of like hidden truths. He even points out that the word Lot means like to veil or conceal.
It's like he's hinting that there's all this deeper meaning woven into these seemingly straightforward stories.
He wants us to really think, to look beyond the surface of these ancient tales.
And find those hidden connections to our own lives, right?
Yeah.
What are we missing? What veils do we need to lift in our own stories?
It's almost like he's asking us to be detectives in our own lives.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got time as an illusion, the Bible as a symbolic guidebook, and we're all projections of God. What other biblical figures are in this play?
Well, he brings up another one, and it's a classic, David and Goliath.
The ultimate underdog story.
Mm-hmm.
But how does Goddard connect that to this idea of life as a divine play?
Now, that's where things get really interesting. Well, most folks see David and Goliath as this battle of, brawn versus brains.
Right, the little guy taking on the giant.
Exactly. But Goddard, he sees it as this metaphor for overcoming challenges, but not through brute force.
So, like, not by fighting fire with fire.
Exactly. It's about using a different kind of strength. Remember David, he only chose 5 stones to take down Goliath.
5? What's so special about 5?
Well, in a lot of spiritual traditions, 5 is connected to grace.
Okay, so it's like those 5 stones, they represent a different way of approaching challenges.
Yeah, it's about aligning yourself with something bigger than yourself and letting that power work through you. It's not about winning a fight. It's about
surrendering to this divine plan.
There you go. And don't forget, David, he's often referred to as this like eternal prince,
Oh, right. It's like hinting at this lineage we all share, this connection to something bigger than ourselves.
Exactly. It's like Goddard's reminding us that we are not just ordinary folks with ordinary problems. We are princes and princesses of the universe, heirs to a divine inheritance,
Love that. Okay, so those Goliaths we face, those impossible situations,
Yeah.
they're not meant to break us, but to help us tap into that inherent power.
Bingo. And think about it, these biblical tales, they're not just ancient history, they're still happening, like right now, inside each of us.
It's like they're part of our DNA.
Right. Each story is a reflection of us, of the human experience. And in each one, you can see this like divine hand at work.
It's like Goddard saying, look closer. The evidence is all around you. And the way he tells these stories, well, you feel it. You're right there in the scene.
He was a master storyteller. He knew how to paint those pictures with his words.
Like, remember when he describes Goliath's head after David chops it off? And it's so big, it takes up this whole table.
Or the way he talks about those guys banging on Lot's door, demanding the angel.
Intense.
Yeah.
You're right there in the thick of it. It's not some abstract idea. It's like, it's happening now.
He wanted you to feel these stories, not just think about them. He was appealing to a different part of us, you know.
To our intuition, our
Yeah.
gut feeling.
There you go. He knew that when you connect with a story on that level, the meaning, it really sinks in.
So if we're all actors in this cosmic play, what's our role? What's this grand finale Goddard keeps hinting at?
Well, he believed that the ultimate goal of all this whole divine play, is transformation.
Transformation. You mean like becoming better people?
It's bigger than that. It's about the Son, which represents humanity, becoming the Father, which is God.
So it's not about escaping this world, like some religions teach.
Nope. Goddard saw this world, all of it, the good, the bad, the messy, as an essential part of this divine play. It's the stage where we grow, where we evolve.
So we're not supposed to deny our humanness, but embrace it.
Exactly. It's all about recognizing that every experience, every interaction, even the painful ones, they're opportunities to remember who we truly are.
Okay, so we're all God, playing
Yeah.
different parts, trying to wake up to this truth.
Yeah.
But what about free will? If it's all a divine play, are we just puppets? Where's the choice in all this?
Yeah, now that is the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Because if there's a divine playwright, where does that leave us?
Maybe that questioning, that struggle, maybe that's part of the play too.
What do you mean?
It's like, it's in those moments of doubt, of searching, that we actually start to awaken to something deeper.
So those tough questions, they're not roadblocks, they're guideposts.
There you go. Goddard might say that it's not about having all the answers, but about learning to love the mystery, the not knowing.
So we're not just watching the play, we're writing it as we go along.
And if we're all co-writers in this cosmic drama, what happens when the curtain falls? What's the final act look like?
Well, he described it as this state of like pure love, complete forgiveness, something beyond anything we can really imagine.
Okay, and that's where Jesus comes in, right? Goddard uses him as this, like, ultimate example of this transformation.
Exactly. But not in the traditional religious sense. For Goddard, Jesus, he's like this representation of what we're all capable of, this potential that's inside each of us.
To, like, transcend our limitations and actually experience that oneness with the divine.
Exactly. It's not about worship, it's about recognition. Recognizing that same spark within yourself, we all have that capacity for love, for forgiveness.
No, it's a pretty inspiring message, but it's also a lot to take in, you know? I mean, we've covered some pretty wild ideas today.
We have, haven't we? Time is an illusion. The Bible as this like symbolic guidebook. We're all just projections of God.
That's a lot.
It is. But how do we actually live this stuff? How do we take those big ideas and like actually apply them to our lives?
Well, Goddard, he was a big believer in the power of changing your inner world, your consciousness. He said if you change your thoughts, you change your life.
I like that saying, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he took it even deeper. It's not just about thinking positive. It's about really shifting how you see yourself, how you see the world.
So instead of seeing ourselves as separate, we start to see how connected everything really is.
Exactly. And when you start to see the world through that lens of like oneness of divine love,
Yeah.
well, your actions, they start to change too.
You become more compassionate, more forgiving to yourself and everyone around you.
You become a more conscious creator of your own reality. You're not denying the challenges, but you're approaching them from a place of, well, grace.
Knowing you have the power to choose how you respond to those challenges.
There you go. And that's the core of Goddard's message. You're not just a character in this play, you're a co-creator.
So for those listening who are thinking, okay, this is all amazing, but where do I start? What would you say? What's the first step in tapping into all of this?
Goddard would say, start by paying attention to your thoughts. Really listen to that inner voice.
Is it coming from a place of fear or from a place of love.
Exactly. Are you holding yourself back with beliefs that no longer serve you?
Become an observer of your own mind.
That's where it all begins.
Wow. So much to think about.
It is, isn't it?
But it's also incredibly hopeful, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Goddard, he saw life as this, like, divine comedy,
Full of plot twists, maybe even a few cliffhangers.
but always leading to a happy ending.
So I guess it's up to us to write that ending, to embrace the mystery, have a little fun along the way.
And maybe, just maybe,
We'll unlock that grand finale Goddard keeps talking about. The realization that we are.
divine.
Until next time, keep diving deep, everyone.